I left Alice with a quick goodbye. I had other things on my mind, like finding a killer, and finding Elizabeth Short before it was too late. I checked into a hotel across the street from Union Station and unpacked my things. The first thing I needed to do was call the police. They might be able to help me.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Black Dahlia. Welcome to LA, our final destination for the game. All new things to see and do, and a less cluttered inventory in order to get that done. Fortunately, we are going to have that key from the gun with us for a very long time, but first things first, we need to go about finding Elizabeth Short. The whole reason why we're here now is to try and prevent anything bad from happening to her. If Winslow gets to her, who knows what'll happen. Well, we can see the sights and sounds a little bit later, but we have more pressing issues to deal with. For instance, actually following on Pearson's inner monologue and actually calling the police.
Number, please.
Or there's a whole bunch of different options that we can also do as well. There's one even for Matt Collins. Police, Elizabeth Short. Let's just go down the list.
Is there a listing for Matt Collins?
I'm sorry, sir. That number has been disconnected.
Thank you.
Would you like another number, sir?
I doubt there's a listing for Elizabeth, but we might as well try.
Is there a listing for an Elizabeth Short?
One moment, please. I'm sorry, sir. I don't have a listing for that party.
Thanks.
Would you like another number, sir?
Yeah, that would be too easy. Alright. Let's rope in the police to see what they have to say, if anything.
Give me the police department.
One moment, please, while I connect you.
LAPD.
I need to speak to a detective, please.
What's the concern?
I have reason to believe a young woman's life is in jeopardy.
Oh yeah? From who?
It's sort of a long story.
Listen, buddy, we don't have any time for cranks.
Sir, this is not a crank. The woman's name is Elizabeth Short. A man named Winslow is after her. Last I heard, he was using the alias Collins. I think he's already killed her boyfriend.
All right, pal, you've got my attention. What's the boyfriend's name again?
It really is a long story. Can't I explain it all to you at the station house?
Yeah, the guy you need to talk to is Detective Maxwell, but he's on his way out the door right now. Can you meet him someplace?
Okay. How about Gabe's Diner? It's right across the street.
The Greasy Spoon, across from Union Station.
Yeah, that's the one.
He'll meet you there in 15 minutes.
Number, please.
Now, even though those are the three options that we have, doesn't mean that we can also not do something else.
That's me, Jim Pearson.
Yes, that is you. But that's not the only thing we can do with clicking on him. Holding shift and clicking will also give us something else.
Is your refrigerator running? Better go catch it then.
God, enough of your dumb faces. Jeez.
Never mind.
So yeah, technically 2 Easter eggs attached to the phone, just by clicking on him and holding shift and clicking on him a second time. So Sunset Arms is going to be our pretty much main hub for coming back, kind of like the office. But we have 3 places that we're able to go at this point. Gabe's Diner, to meet the detective. The boarding house, which is where Elizabeth Short was actually staying. It mentions in her letter that we haven't actually thoroughly looked at. As well as the train station. I want to actually go and look at Elizabeth Short beforehand, just to get a little bit more information about her before talking to the detective.
I haven't been able to clean it too much, but this is her room. Yes, this is where she stayed until a few weeks ago. But I had to evict the poor thing. Rent in arrears for months. And she started to mooch off the other girls. Lizzie was a dear thing, but I wouldn't trust her as far as I could throw her. And at my age, that wouldn't be very far.
I see. Well, thank you, Mrs. Underhill. You've been a big help.
Not a thing, dear boy, not a thing at all. If I can help you, just say the word.
She stands in a position that makes me feel like she is holding her breath forever. Like she's eventually gonna collapse over just, like, whatever's going on in her mind. Well, she is the head of this household, so let's get more information about her from her.
Do you have any idea where Elizabeth is now?
If I know that girl, she's with a man, or at a bar looking for a man.
Now, what makes you say that?
The girl was always bringing men home, all hours of the night. I don't like to speak ill of those not present. But between you and me, the girl was a lush and a tramp. She was upsetting the other girls with her behavior. That's why I had to kick her out.
Guess we can't use the rest of that either, talking about her being a tramp. Well, so Short had the Dahlia. Does Mrs. Underhill know about it?
Do you know if Elizabeth received any packages from Europe?
Only every day until her beau passed on. Shame what happened to him.
It certainly was.
I remember the day that telegram arrived like it was yesterday. Poor thing went into shock. Hasn't worn a stitch of clothing that wasn't black ever since. Started touching the bottle, too. And I don't approve of that at all. No siree. Then she started bringing the menfolk into the house. And that was the last straw. I had to get rid of her, the poor thing.
Do you recall her receiving anything unusual?
Well, there was this queer gem. It was black with strange little carvings on it. She was so proud of it, showed it off to me and every girl in the house. Personally, that stone gave me the creeps.
And back into breathing position.
Find what you're looking for yet?
No, ma'am.
Oh.
I don't know what is up with her in terms of what she's trying to lead on and with Jim. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but she's just going to be there holding her breath forever as we can take a look around the room. There's a bunch of things that we're able to examine, but most of them don't really amount to much. For instance, every single one of these drawers inside of the dresser can be opened, but nothing is inside of them. There's some bits that have a whole lot of detail for them, but not exactly sure why. There's a bare closet with an old coat inside of it, but there's apparently something on the coat. It's an ad. Be a star! If you're a female who feels she has what it takes to be a star, then all you have to do is send a picture of yourself dressed in your best swimsuit to Be a Star, P.O. Box 90766, Los Angeles, California. Send today! Now, her letter did mention that apparently she was involved with Prometheus Pictures. Maybe something under the bed? What, you can't find her with just the shoe size? Come on. No. Okay. So, the other thing, of course, is the bedside dresser. There's 3 drawers. 2 of them have something interesting inside of them. This one being this letter. It's pretty much an apology letter from Elizabeth to Mrs. Underhill about rent. And that apparently something is coming her way in terms of Prometheus Pictures, and eventually she'll pass the advance that she's going to get over to her. Not much really in it, although we do take it as part of our inventory. The other thing is down here, in the very bottom. romance novel of the Harlequin romance series, Rosella. Pretty sure that's a book, but
Wonder if this place is worth looking into.
we do have a possible new destination to go to. Not sure what the Bud Cable means. Bud Cable, 9 o'clock. Yeah, I've never been able to piece that together, and it's not all that important as far as I can remember. But at least there is something to this place, if anything. Hello. Peek nose. Now I'm just gonna, like, squeeze Bastian out the door. That's a better thing to do. But yeah, we have access to the Biltmore Hotel now. Well, we're on the hunt for Elizabeth. We might as well just check it out.
I was surprised that someone as reportedly down and out as Elizabeth Short could afford to stay at a place as classy as the Biltmore. When I saw the neighborhood, I knew that this wasn't the world-famous Biltmore Hotel, just a second-rate imitation meant to attract suckers.
Yeah, it's definitely less run down compared to actual pictures of the Biltmore, if you care to be interested in other buildings and what they look like. It's got enough tacky things to make it look interesting, but not at the same time.
What can I get you?
Nothing right now. Maybe later.
Suit yourself.
So Ike here is an interesting character. If you might notice, he's actually played by Jack Erdy, who's known for such roles as One for the Money and The Last Witch Hunter. He also was on a couple of episodes of Outsiders.
Excuse me, have you seen this girl?
You a copper?
No, buddy, nothing like that. I knew her fiancé.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that Maddie must have been some guy. That's all she ever talks about.
You've seen her then?
Yeah, she comes in here all the time, regular as oats. But she's not in here now, though.
Thanks, buddy. I'll try back later.
She hasn't been in here yet.
Thanks, buddy.
Given the role of a bartender, he does enough with the role. I'm glad to see that he has done more decent things. Well, seeing as Elizabeth hasn't shown up at the hotel just yet, I guess it's finally time for us to head on over to the detective. We've learned very little about our girl that we're looking for, but maybe the additional resources of our detective that we're going to meet might help us out.
Gabe, where's the sandwich?
I'm making them as fast as I can, Gracie.
Excuse me. Detective Maxwell?
Yeah. Have a seat.
I'm Jim Pearson.
This better be worth my time.
Oh, it is, Detective. Don't worry about that.
He already doesn't even look too pleased by the whole thing. Now, Gabe's Diner is another one of the interesting locations in the game where it's very well detailed in everything that you're able to look at, although outside the window has this strange perspective weirdness to me that I'm not able to quite get. But it also has this that you're able to examine. It's the only other thing you're able to do in the diner, because after this point, you don't come back to it. And it's like, best sandwiches this side of the Sierras. I don't know if that's a jab at Sierra itself, because this is way late into the adventure game market at this point, with 1998. Adventure games were definitely starting to be on their way out at that point. I'm not sure. Anyway, let's actually get into the conversation with Detective Maxwell.
I'm trying to find a woman named Elizabeth Short. I believe she's in danger.
That's what you said over the phone. What's the trouble?
Well, it all starts over in Europe. Her fiancé, a pilot named Matt Collins, bought a contraband item on the black market. It was lifted from a stash of Nazi art treasures.
What kind of contraband item?
A gem. They call it the Black Dahlia.
Uh-huh. So what happens to this black, whatchamacallit?
Dahlia, well, just before Collins is due to ship home, his plane crashes under very suspicious circumstances. He just sent the gem back home.
Let me guess. He gave it to this short girl.
Yeah, that's right.
So what's so important about this gem? It worth that much money?
Well, it doesn't look at all that valuable at first glance, but it's got a long history. Supposedly, it's got some mystical qualities.
Oh, it's a magic rock.
You know, Detective, I don't know what it is that I did to get off on the wrong foot with you, but I'm not a crackpot. This story's true. I've spent years on the trail of the Dahlia, and maybe it's nothing more than a worthless piece of rock, but there's been an awful lot of killings over that gem.
All right, buddy. Don't get yourself into an uproar. I'll check into it. But that's about all I can do for now, unless you're holding something back.
I'm not holding anything back, Detective. I'm trying to help.
Good. I like it that way.
Well, there's only so much we're able to actually hold back, including like the murders and how they're done, and Cleveland and Europe, and a lot. Let's talk to him more.
I believe a man named Winslow is in Los Angeles. He's a dangerous criminal.
Who's this Winslow? I never heard of him.
He's a spy. Used to work as a political liaison for the FBI. He served in Europe during the war, and I crossed paths with him when I used to work for the OSS.
Say, a secret agent. We don't get many of the X9 types around here.
You can check with the State Department if you don't believe me.
Don't think that I won't.
All right. Fair enough. I just recently discovered that Winslow was a former SS agent. I tracked him across half of Europe before following him out here to Los Angeles.
Sounds like this is a personal vendetta.
The guy's a butcher and a traitor. Yeah. You bet it's personal.
Any warrants out for this guy? Got any proof?
Not a whole lot I can make stick. That guy's extremely clever. He doesn't leave a lot of witnesses behind.
All right. So what do you want me to do about it?
Just help me stop him before he kills again.
I don't like the sound of that, Pearson.
I'm just warning you, Detective.
All right. I'll check around about this Winslow. But let me warn you, you better not cause any trouble, because if you do, I'm gonna be all over you.
We just look worse and worse by talking to this detective.
You got any more stories for me?
Oh, what's the point? You haven't believed a word I've said so far?
I'll check into this, Pearson. Just on the chance that there's something behind that cockamamie story of yours. But unless you got some cold hard facts from me, don't be bothering me anymore.
All right, Detective. If that's the way you want to play it, that's fine by me. If anything happens, though, well, I hope you don't have any trouble sleeping at night.
If anything happens, I'll have your sorry ass behind bars. Don't worry about me. I'll still sleep just like a baby.
Anything for you, honey?
No, thank you. Just seem to have lost my appetite.
Suit yourself.
Jim,
Oh, hello there.
what's the matter? Aren't you happy to see me?
No, it's not that. I just had a meeting with the detective from the LAPD about the matter I was investigating. Didn't go very well.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, but what brings you in here?
Oh, I'm trying to find a job. Just something temporary until I get my big break, that
You
is.
all settled in?
Why, yes, I've taken a room at the Sunset Arms Hotel.
No kidding. That's where I'm staying.
Well, it's a small world. I'll have to stop by and say hello now that we're neighbors.
Sure, Alice. That'd be swell. Listen, I've got to run, but you be sure to stop by anytime you like and say hello. I'm in room 217.
That detective wasn't very helpful?
No, I don't think he'd believe me. Listen, I'd love to stay and chat, but really should be getting back to work.
All right. When I stop by, you can tell me all about it.
You bet. Bye, Alice.
See you around, Jim.
So with that, I'm not sure where we actually stand at this point. We've made a good lap around LA at this point, looking into Elizabeth Short and everything, but that detective, I am not sure if it was really a good idea to get him involved. We'll know soon enough eventually. But next time, we're gonna go to the one place that we haven't went to before. See you next time.